The last category for the day is Distinguished Alumnus. I now request the Dean, Dr. Varun Nagaraj, to introduce the category.
I'd like to introduce the winner of our Distinguished Alumnus category. This is a relatively new category we started only a couple of years ago. We only have two that we have deemed to be worthy of being Distinguished Alumnus so far in SPJIMR's illustrious history. And we, of course, hope that this group that's already on their way will one day join us. And someday, when I'm not giving you a lecture about other things, you guys might be worthy of it as well. All right? Our winner this year is Mr. Anil Mehta. And a quick introduction, a very quick, brief introduction about Mr. Anil Mehta, and then we'll play the video. Anil, as you can see, is from the class of 1980s, right? So it's from 1984, as are actually our other two distinguished alumnus. So patience is something that is required in order to get to this particular category. Anil is special in many ways. Like many of you, he was a traditional PGDM student. He proceeded to have a fairly traditional career, went into BFSI, worked for Bank of America, HDFC, etc., etc. When he was around 49 years old, he sort of said, I think it's time for me to do my own venture. And he started on his startup in about 2012 or 2013 with Sequoia Capital as his first round investor, doing the one thing he knew, which was figuring out how to give loans to people who otherwise might not have good traditional credit histories. So he had an algorithm in his mind as to how you could make these kinds of loans profitable, and he proceeded to do that. So out of that was India Shelter, a company that was born and which went public in December 2023. And with a valuation of around 10,000 crores or so, I would sort of say he is amongst the more valued companies, or his companies amongst the more valued companies in the market that have come out of SPJIMR. So it's my pleasure to make this award and listen to what Anil has to say. Thanks.
Hi, I am from the 82-84 batch of the school when the school was still a bootstrapped enterprise. And when I look back, I think the most important influence of the school was around the bootstrapping culture. We had minimal facilities, but we did have excellent teachers, all of them first rate, who were practicing managers themselves. And the school, by default or design, was very smart in doing that because that helped us greatly at placements. Because the school was unknown, we were all unknown. We didn't have any significant credentials to present to industry. So the earlier batches could give back a lot in terms of burnishing the school's reputation. And I think it's not just about me. A lot of what shapes the MBA experience is the peer group you have. Within our peer group, after 4 decades, we have multiplicity of experience, multiplicity of achievement, and we have people active in the public sphere, we have people active in the cultural sphere, we have CEOs, we have tycoons. So our class, I think, is typical of the class at SPJIMR, where we have people successful in multiple fields, and most people graduating from SPJIMR have done very well. So I think it's not about the individual, it's a lot about the other individuals you get to interact with, the other individuals you are thrown together. I was very lucky to be placed at HDFC, one of the great companies this country has produced, at 50 rupees a day back in 1984. And after that, I worked at Bank of America, American Express, Grindage Bank, and Max New York Life before I founded my own company in 2010. And we went public last year, very successfully so. And that, in a nutshell, is my career after coming out of SPJIMR. So after a career of about 3 decades in the corporate world, there are many things, so I can't really say what inspired me to entrepreneurship, but certainly the wish to write my own book, because while you're in large corporate setups, there is a lot of inertia. You have to find ways of meeting people halfway or quarter way or whatever, and frankly, I was getting a little tired of it, and I wanted to do something on my own to prove myself right to me, and that was really the the trigger for me striking out on my own. And how do you choose to do what you do after 30 years of being a wage slave, so to say? Uh, so I had to look at where was the white space and what was my core skill. So all I knew, the business I really knew was lending. And the white space was lending to the people who are considered unlendable so far. And after that, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of heartbreak. But yeah, you get there. I haven't earned the right to give you a pravachan about what life to live and how to succeed. But some things that I think have helped me succeed is laser sharp focus, persistence, and staying positive. But ultimately, happiness is also about being a little outward focused rather than focusing all your effort toward yourself. That does lead to a lot of joy. I'm proud and humbled to be recognized by this distinguished Alumnus Award, especially by the Institute, which is now known to be among the top few in the country. But like I said, a lot of how I've been shaped is the Institute, of course, but also my classmates. So, three cheers to batch of 84, three cheers to SPJIMR, and all the very best to the current students. Thank you very much.